Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? Do you like the artwork? It's some pretty cool stuff. It's some interesting stuff, that is for sure. Let's dive in. Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family. Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? Of course, like always, it's not financial advice. Yo! So, I know you guys have seen me show this stuff off before. This is some artwork made by a fellow Bitcoin person. It's a paper wallet that is in beautiful artwork form. It's the reason why I had to get it. I mean, look at that. See? It even shows you how to be able to get it off of there, all that good stuff. And you're probably wondering, why am I bringing up this stuff? I mean, other than, it looks really cool, right? Bam. Ooh, right? Really cool stuff. But it kind of leads into the article that I came across a little bit earlier today. And after doing some research on this, actually kind of interesting. So, without any further ado, let's dig into this one. BeingInCrypto.com, their writer wrote this one. Bobby Lee's crypto wallet isn't so private after all. Before I give my interjection, let's go ahead and dive into what this article is all about. So, Bobby Lee, if you don't know who he is known for his wild Bitcoin predictions. He did launch his own Bitcoin wallet. And he is also the brother of the Litecoin founder, that silent ninja, Charlie Lee. And he is also a co-founder of BTC China, or BTCC as it's known now, which was one of China's first, it was China's first exchange. It was one of the largest exchanges out there for the longest time. So this guy has been around the block a few times. Him and Charlie Lee both got involved in Bitcoin in 2011. Charlie Lee definitely went down the rabbit hole a little bit further, where Bobby Lee was in it and then he left and came back. And when he came back, he started innovating in this space. And whenever BTC China got acquired by another company, it left him wondering what his next project was going to be. So his next project turned out to be the Ballet Wallet. So it's actually kind of interesting. I'll give it up for this one. Little interesting, but let's see what this particular writer has to say about it. So he's looking at it as being, it was pitched straightforward, aimed for anybody to be able to use it, which is true. He definitely wanted it to be as simple as using this, guys. Just as simple as this. So I have a QR code that's public. You can sit there and basically send funds into it. That's as simple as the front side of it works. So now there is some issues that I see where he's coming up with, and he talks more about it more towards the end, while trying to make the wallet simple. This writer believes that they failed to provide basic security requirements for wallets. There is no setup process. So if you're used to using the Nano Ledger S or something like that, you're used to this setup process. So, you have to have a piece of paper, a pencil, or a pen, and you're writing down seed phrase, recovery phrases, you're generating passwords, you're generating pins, Grandma just stopped listening to you. I'm just saying, that's where she stopped. She was like, oh, you gotta download a what? And write down what now? A mnemonic for key phrase? What's that? You just lost Grandma. So, he's trying to make it as simple as using this. So Grandma would be able to hang this on the wall, and you'd be able to send Grandma some Bitcoin. And then whenever she was in hard times, she can recover it right off of it, because this is a paper wallet. So what he's putting up right now is a metal wallet, basically. Instead of having a paper wallet, it's metal. Okay, cool. And the company generates private keys. And there's no way to verify if Ballet is storing these keys or if the users have to blindly trust them. Now, this aspect I agree with. And then whenever you do some digging into the company itself and how they're doing safe practices within the company, yes, you have to trust that the company is being on the up and up. So, that aspect I agree with. Same thing with this one. I have to trust that the artist did not copy all of the private stuff that's on this paper wallet and then sold them, and then is periodically checking to see if anybody is using it and then stealing the funds off of their artwork. Are there nefarious people in this space? Yes. Are they trying to attack wallets? Yes. But what I do like about the company, okay, so if you wanted to come in here, you can sit there and check out the balletcrypto.com and check out the Ballet Wallet yourself. Do some of your own research. But 100% offline cold storage. Yes. That's like having this. 100%. You get a nice metal wallet here. Okay. Now, like your Nano Ledger S, there is software that does go behind this. But what I like about this software, okay, I mean, other than I do like how the wallets look, they do actually look really nice. Very clean. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, the Dirty Nipple. Each one of them are different, so they have their own private key generated that's in one facility over here, and then they have the scratch off verification process. So there's the two-factor authentication basically here. You got the private key, and then you have your passphrase right up underneath there. And that's done in another facility here in the United States. So, two different places, none of it being stored on a database, which is what they're claiming. So you have to trust that they're dumping the data after they make these. Okay, so that's the only trust factor that you have to have. Okay, so after that, most people would be like, well, now you said that there's a program that you have to use in order to function with this, right? Well, not to put crypto on it. You can go up to an ATM, buy crypto right off of an ATM, and put it right on there, hand it to any family member, all that good stuff, right? Now, what I mean by you have to have the app in order to basically remove the funds off. So you're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute here. I got to have their program to pull my crypto off of this hardware wallet. Well, what's the point of this if the company goes out of business, right? Wait for it. Like I said, Bobby Lee's been in this as long as Charlie Lee. This isn't his first rodeo. So he actually made the software completely open source. So even if they go out of business 10, 15 years later, you can go up to GitHub, pull the GitHub repository, build the app real quick, and move your funds. This is actually one of the few that I think that are actually kind of interesting. No setup requirement other than where you have to purchase crypto. But if you were to just have this, somebody could just put crypto onto the wallet for you. And you can sit there and store it until you need to use it. And then you can scratch off the passphrase, put it onto there. Now, I would be using this as a one-time deal. It's like a paper wallet. Once you've used it, it's done, right? You can just, if I were to ever use this, and I pull the crypto off, it's just artwork at that point, guys. Same thing with these wallets. Once you've pulled it off, because now the scratch off passphrase is now permanently exposed, anybody with the app can go boop and then take a picture of everything, and yeah, you get liquidated, right? So as a one-time use wallet, I don't think this is too bad of an option. Storing it like that is not a horrible thing. Same thing with the Bitcoin Core wallet. It's open source wallet, guys. So you can make your own wallet and restore your own private keys and transfer that stuff. Just saying. So, what's your guys' thoughts on this? You know, do you think of it as a huge security issue, or do you think this is a great way to potentially get your mom or your grandmother involved in crypto? You could be able to sit there and send it to them yourself. What the price of these are, let me see here. I have no idea. Let's see here. The regular Bitcoin edition is $40. If you want the gold plated, it's $100. Here, I can show you this. Bam! So these are the prices to actually get the cards themselves. I don't know if this is all they have. Yep, this is all that they're having right now, and they've even got a stable coin on here too. Boom. You can get 4 packs, so you can get a bunch of them and send them out. Bam. That's actually kind of cool. So that's that. And let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that and all that good stuff. Do you think it's a security risk, or do you think this is something interesting to you? And then something else that's also interesting, if you guys are mining on Windows, you should update your Claymore Dual Miner, guys. Get that 15.0 up on there. I will leave links in down below for all of you guys to be able to do that. I know a lot of people, they get their mining rigs going, they get them stable, they have it shut down other than cleaning, you leave them alone, they're making passive income, right? This one might be one that you want to do. It gives you some extra functionality, especially with your AMD cards, to be able to overclock them and play with the timing straps on them so that they can actually mine more effectively. And you're going to be able to mine that Ethereum and Ethereum Classic and stuff like that with your NVIDIAs or your AMDs on that Claymore Dual Miner. If you're on Hive OS, it does not work. Even though it's there, Claymore is broken on Linux. They never built the whole repository for it on Linux, so this is more geared towards people who are mining with Windows, because that's basically how the developers did this one. They were like, forget that voodoo magic on Linux, we're staying with Windows. It's actually a little bit harder to do the overclocking and the timing straps in Linux, so I think that's where their issues really lied in there, and they just kept it a little bit easier on them. so they can actually make a working product, knowing that there are not as many Linux users out there as there are Windows users. I'm on Windows right now. My mining rigs, like this one behind me, is on Linux. This one's on Hive. I can see Claymore Dual Miner, but it's broken. So if you're on Windows, certainly I would, take a few seconds just to update it and reconfigure everything. And if you're wanting to mine at Ethereum, baller. And of course, you guys all know that I'm also an AMD fan. So I've got my AMD Threadripper that's on my main PC. I've always run AMD CPUs. They're excellent workhorses. For gaming, they're nominal. Does Intel give you that squeak of performance off of it? Yes. Do I need it? No. I would rather sit there and have a workstation than a flat-out gaming station. And it looks like my choices for the Threadripper, at least, is going to prove to be an excellent choice. Considering that whenever Monero switches over to RandomX, I'm going to have a very, very good CPU to be mining on there. 180 watts, 7,000 souls per second. Ball. Basically, my Threadripper will make your Vegas look like a waste of time. But that's just how it's going to be when it, moving forward with the new RandomX. It's going to be AMD's playground on this one, guys. So, but anyway, y'all know that I've been kind of drooling over the third gen Threadrippers up until I found out that I'd have to get a new motherboard in order to run them. And for the price tag on there, even if I went with the 3960X, which is the 24 core, 48 thread, 3.8 gigahertz base, 4.5 boost, that's $1,400 plus the motherboard and another $500. You're already at $2,000. You don't have any RAM. You don't have a graphics card yet, no power supply, and no case to put it into. This is their cheaper one. Now, if you're the person that needs to have the cutting edge technology, you want the latest and greatest thing, more power to you. If you are that person, drop a comment in down below when you get one. I would love to know the performance off of this bad boy. Because realistically, I'm not getting that. The most that I'm going to do is upgrade into the second gen Threadrippers. My motherboard will accept them. So once the second gens come down in price, I'll be able to upgrade at a more of an affordable way of doing this. Because originally I was looking at the 2990WX, which was the 32 core 64 thread, 3 gigahertz base at 4.2 gigahertz boost. I was really kind of hoping to be able to get that, but whenever I looked at the price tag originally, it was basically a $2,000 chip. No motherboard, just a chip. And believe it or not, no cooler. These things don't come with coolers. And they recommend to do like a water block on these things that has the capabilities of cooling at a target temperature, at a target wattage of 500 watt cooler. So if you've got an actual cooler that's for the Threadrippers, even if you get the ones that are like 800, 1,000 watt, those would be the ones that they recommend for the new generation, the third gens. And then speaking of the third gens, the 32 core, which is kind of wild, the 2990WX is a 32 core 64 thread. The 3970X is a 32 core 64 thread. The only thing that they've done is that it boosts a little higher with more wattage. So yes, you're going to want I mean, I would recommend a water block on this just to kind of have that stable temperatures, less fluctuation, because you have you were able to cool it off with a liquid. The thermal conductivity through copper to liquid is pretty good. So you'll be able to control temperature across the die face a little bit more effectively. It's the reason why I've also water blocked my own personal Threadripper, and I've got the 1900X, which is only 180 watts. So, and this thing I haven't even begun to max out in the slightest bit. I stream on it, I game on it, I watch videos on it, I pretty much do everything that any other enthusiast will do on this thing, including mining on it. And the thing does pretty damn well. And like I said, I can't wait until Monero switches over to RandomX. This way I can start testing this thing out. It'll be excellent. But for anybody who gets these 3rd gen Threadrippers, if you've got $2,000 to $2,500 just laying around to start building a new computer and you want to mine Monero, I wouldn't go after this one particularly for that. The Threadripper lineup is going to be more like your workstation. If you don't want to get the Epic lineup because you're not building a server, you're going to want to go with the Threadripper. That's my own viewpoint on these things, just because it's pretty interesting with the Threadrippers and the amount of workload that they can handle without even remotely maxing out. I mean, you would have to be doing a lot of Blender in order to really start maxing this thing out. So that's just how that one works. So if you guys got any questions or comments, guys, certainly drop them down below. I'll have the links also down below to everything. So if you're wanting to update your Claymore dual miner, I'll have the links to go directly there. And talking about links also going directly somewhere, I've also got links into the Discord so that if you guys ever want to continue one of these conversations with me directly, you can bounce right on into the Discord, and where we have a plethora of knowledge for you. Yo. And like always, on the next, subscribe, and share these videos with other people. Like always, guys. Oop, I hit the right button. And I'll definitely see you all on the next one. Peace.